Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the co-owner and creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to inspire an anxious, preoccupied individual to meet your needs. So, the reason I'm talking about this topic is, a lot of people ask me questions about how do you get a fearful avoidant to meet your needs or a dismissive avoidant to meet your needs. And, we really have to go about this in a healthy way. Like, we can't manipulate people. We have to learn to just express effectively and open up and learn to communicate in ways that are easily translatable and digestible by the other attachment styles that we're trying to get to do this. But something that can happen that goes really, not talked about very much is anxious, preoccupied when they're in survival mode, when they're really afraid that their needs aren't going to be met, they're disconnecting, they feel unsafe, they feel abandoned, they feel alone. They can sometimes get so wrapped up in their own emotions and fears that they forget to properly see the people they're with, whether it's a friend, a loved one, whoever it might be. And so that sort of disconnect that can be created when they're not seeing somebody else, connecting to somebody else, can stop them from being able to meet somebody else's needs, especially if the needs are different from the assumed needs in a close relationship, love and connection and closeness and all these different things. And so, I really wanted to put this video out here to discuss this topic as well. Now, if you want to do a deep dive into some of this work about communication, I have two amazing courses inside PDS for this, conflict resolution course and a communication scripts course, which goes through like major situations we often experience and gives you like literally scripts, and they're modeled out and they help you communicate during challenging times. So you can check those out. I'll put a link in the description box below. And, if you want to do a deeper dive, there you go. And there's a money back guarantee, by the way, as well. So, um, so let's talk about this here. So what we'll often see is anxious, preoccupied tend to be very caring about other people, and they tend to be really like open and charismatic and loving and giving. But sometimes when they're wrapped up in their own feelings because they're afraid, they will forget that other people may have needs separate from theirs. Something we all do is we tend to project from our perception. We assume everybody else's needs are ours, and we try to meet other people's needs the way we would want our needs to be met. And it's all in innocence. Nobody means to do this if it's an incorrect thing. But what often happens is we really miss the mark with other people. And this is really one of the big fundamental reasons why relationships don't work out, why they can fail, is because literally we can get into a position where we are giving to somebody what they don't actually want or need to receive. And then when we're not learning to speak up about it or communicate about these things, lots of resentment can boil and start to take place between two people in a relationship. So first and foremost, if you were trying to have this conversation with an anxious preoccupied, one of the first things to give to them, because they're the sweetest and they will often like really try to meet your needs almost frantically, but often they can sort of miss the mark. um, one of the first things you want to tell them is, hey, I really appreciate everything that you're doing, but my needs and your needs are different from a relationship. And let me tell you what mine are. When anxious, preoccupied individuals have that clarity, they tend to want to take action. They really want to connect. They want to give love. They want to meet people's needs. They want to be there for them. But sometimes they are just giving what they would need. So that's first, is just giving that clarification. Another thing is we can use language that really appeals to an anxious, preoccupied person, like, hey, if you can understand that this is what my needs are here, and if you can be vulnerable about doing this, by the way, when you're sharing, then this is going to help strengthen our relationship. Anything that's building a bond, creating more connection, getting both parties seen and understood in a relationship and strengthening the relationship, anything that relates to that, the anxious preoccupied is naturally really sold on in a way, because they really value and are very driven by certainty in a connection, bonding in an experience, deeper emotional closeness, and the anything that creates the avoidance of a potential abandonment. So that's huge, and it really makes a big difference. And then another really big piece is whatever you're communicating to your anxious preoccupied loved one, whether it's a friend, a family member, a romantic partner, you really want to make sure that you are being as clear as possible, because again, they will fill in the blanks and be like, oh, you want me to do this? You want me to do this thing? And sometimes, um, you know, when they are filling in the blanks with their own perception of like what they would need, they can actually like bulldoze your needs by accident. I've had a lot of conversations over the years with people who are anxious, preoccupied, and let's say they're a loved one says to them, "Hey, I really need space. I need to think. I'm having a hard time. I really need space." And then the anxious preoccupied thinks, "Oh my gosh, they're having a hard time." And they sort of hang on to like what they want to hear. And they'll turn around and go, "Okay, they're having a hard time. So I should cook dinner and drop it off. Or I should write them a note and drop it in their mailbox." And I've had so many countless conversations like this over the years where the anxious preoccupied decides that's what they're going to do. They want to go do it. But sometimes they bulldoze by accident the need that is there where somebody actually truly needs space because that may be the way that they self-soothe, and that it has nothing to do with the relationship and them not caring about the relationship if they self-soothe alone. It's just what they're comfortable with doing at the time or what they may need at this point in time as well. And then the other big piece here is sometimes an anxious, preoccupied person will take that the wrong way, will take a need for space or something that's sort of like counterintuitive to their needs the wrong way and personalize it, and then not be able to see or hear your needs because of that. And so it's really important as well that if you have a need and you're having a difficult time getting it through to the anxious, preoccupied individual and you feel like they're not hearing it or it's falling on deaf ears, it's so important to say to that person, "Hey, everything's okay. We're good. Everything's going to be fine. This is just the need that I have. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving the relationship." Of course, only say that if that's the truth. Um, and hopefully it is in any situation where you're just trying to communicate your needs and you're watching this video to grow and figure out more about the relationship. But it's just so huge and so important to be able to say that so that your needs and what you're trying to express can effectively land. So hopefully that makes a whole lot of sense. If you want to do a deep dive, again, I have those courses, link in the description box below. Check them out. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.